Welcome in to Seahawks Today, powered by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here with you. So glad to have you with us. Today's show is presented by Manscaped. They are offering the Performance Package 4.0 right now for 20% off plus free shipping when you use the promo code Seahawks at checkout at manscaped.com. We'll tell you more about that coming up later on in the show. Today, I have overreactions to training camp so far. We're going to be a bit dramatic today. But before I get dramatic, I want to hear from you guys. Give us your biggest overreaction to training camp so far. Before I lay out all the hot takes, I got to hear yours. So let me know in the comment section below what your biggest overreaction to training camp so far is. Number one on our countdown today, Drew Lock will win the quarterback job for the Seahawks. The starting quarterback job, I think when it's all said and done, at the end of the day, week one, we will see Drew Lock start at quarterback for the Seahawks. And this is not an endorsement for Drew Lock or Geno Smith either way, but based on what I've seen in the direction this is going, I think Drew Lock's got the higher ceiling than Geno Smith does. And he's the younger quarterback. He's the guy that the Seahawks are somewhat invested in, that they've compared to the rookie quarterbacks of this year's class, that they've put themselves in on Drew Lock at this point. I think that the Seahawks know what they have in Geno Smith, and if they are going to reach their ceiling, I think they're aware that Drew Lock has the better chance of getting them to that point of where they want to go potentially. And we saw it on Saturday in the mock game. Greg Bell, who covers the Seahawks, had this to say. The Seahawks offense is more dynamic, moves more with Drew Lock, play action, option throws on the run, more outside play action when Lock is in compared to Geno Smith, who they have dropped back more. Which style will they pick? Stylistically, that's a decision ultimately that Pete Carroll and company have to make. And the numbers going back to that mock game on Saturday, we saw both quarterbacks played fairly well, but Drew Lock played substantially better than Geno Smith did, as you can see the numbers there. And Drew Lock had to face the number one defense more than Geno Smith did and had more reps with the number two offense as opposed to Geno Smith. And the numbers were just better on Drew Lock's end compared to what they were from Geno Smith. Albert Breer of Sports Illustrated, he visited Seahawks camp this week, and this is what he had to say about the Seahawks quarterback competition. Drew Lock, after going through so many coaches on the offensive side in Denver, has to show that he has the mental aspect of the game down and has improved on his footwork in order to get the starting job for the Seahawks. So that's what's ahead for Drew Lock. I think when the season starts, he will be the starter, but remains to be seen. So, our pin combo today. We want to know directly from you guys. Fill in the blank. Drew Lock will blank the starting quarterback job. W for win, L for loss. Will he win the starting quarterback job? Will he lose the starting quarterback job? Let me know in the comment section below. You might get an ad break while the ad's playing. Take advantage of it. Get your votes in and tell me if Drew Lock will win or lose the Seahawks starting quarterback position. Number two on our countdown today, I believe the Seahawks will have not only a 1,000-yard rusher, but they will have a 1,000-yard receiver as well. That I think this offense is going to be better than what people realize. And as much as we've talked about DK Metcalf, let's not forget about Tyler Lockett either. And he's coming off the last few years, the best years of football he's ever played. 3 straight 1,000-yard seasons for Tyler Lockett with 1,100 yards last year and 8 touchdowns. The year prior, 10 touchdowns and 1,000 yards. 1,000 yards in 2019 and 8 touchdowns, and near 1,000 yards in 2018 and 10 touchdowns. He's been really good the last few years. Not only do we have high hopes for DK Metcalf that he's coming close to reaching his potential, that we haven't seen the best of him yet, Tyler Lockett, you can't sleep on either. This is a dynamic duo, and it's going to be a lot of fun to watch both of them, what they're capable of. As far as the running game goes, we've talked a lot about the Seahawks rookie Kenneth Walker III and his potential, what he can do, but don't sleep on Rashad Penny as well. Rashad Penny has impressed so far through training camp and won over the coaching staff with what he's been able to do. The depth chart that was released today had Penny as the number one running back right now, and if he could do what he did in those last 5 games last year, if we see that from Rashad Penny again, watch out. I mean, 7.3 yards a carry, nearly 700 yards in 5 games. If they get that version of Rashad Penny again in 2022, watch out. This would be a great 1-2 punch. So for me, I think whether it's Penny or Walker, I don't know which one, but I think one of the two is going to rush for 1,000 yards, and I think DK and Tyler Lockett both are capable of rushing for receiving 1,000 yards in 2022. It'll be a lot of fun to see what that offense can do with those guys. So, prediction time. The Seahawks will have a 1,000-yard rusher and receiver. Do you think it's going to happen? Let me know. Type Y for yes, type in for no in the comment section below if you think the Seahawks will have a 1,000-yard rusher and receiver. Today's show is presented by Manscaped, and we are offering the Performance Package 4.0, and it comes with some of your favorites, including the Lawnmower 4.0, the Boxers, everything in between. We save balls around here, and we're going to offer you a great deal just for our viewers of Seahawks Today. You can get this for $95.99 instead of the normal retail price of $121.94. You're going to save about 20% off when you use the promo code Seahawks at checkout. Very important detail there. We'll give you free shipping as well, but you have to use that promo code Seahawks at checkout to get yours today at manscaped.com. 20% off plus free shipping with promo code Seahawks at checkout. For me, the number 3 thing I look at of an overreaction of sorts is that tight end position for the Seahawks is as important as ever. I think the Seahawks are going to use 12 personnel a lot this year. And on this show, we've talked a lot about Noah Fant, how excited I am for the Seahawks bringing him over from the Denver Broncos. But let's not forget about Will Dissly either. And here's Dissly going into year 3. And I got to tell you, I think that we're going to see him take a big step up. And so far through training camp and what we've seen in the offseason, not only has Noah Fant answered the call, but Dissly has performed well at this point, and so much so that even on the depth chart, he's listed as OR. It's not Noah Fant 1 and Will Dissly tight end 2. The official depth chart released gave him the love of at least putting that OR on there instead of tight end 2. So he's doing something right. He's catching the coach's attention. And this is what Matty F. Brown from All Seahawks had to say about Dissly. If Dissly is going to be the inline dude with the Seahawks in 12 personnel, Fant being able to line up all over the field is a big deal, like as a power slot or as an alternative to DK Metcalf's size on the perimeter. If Fant is on the field with Dissly, his receiving versatility must be enough to justify leaving the wide receiver number 3, whether it's the Eskridge, Marquise Goodwin, or Freddie Swain, off the bench. And to me, that's going to be fascinating to watch where we see Will Dissly fit in. I think that so far he's done all the right things, it would seem, to this point to step up and where we could see a lot of 12 personnel for the Seahawks here in 2022. And when you have a new quarterback, whether it's Geno Smith or whether it's Drew Lock, use those tight ends as safety nets. Safety valves of sorts will be good options there with those 2 tight ends. I'm looking forward to not only Noah Fant, but Will Dissly as well. It's a big week here on Seahawks Today. We're doing watch parties, live shows, and, of course, covering all the breaking news on your favorite team. Turn on your notifications so you never miss a moment of Seahawks Today. YouTube.com/Seahawks TV to subscribe now. Tell all your friends, make sure they're subscribed, and that they join us on Wednesday for the debut episode of Seahawks Live here on the channel, beginning at 6 o'clock Eastern Time, 3 o'clock out west. YouTube.com/Seahawks TV. Right here where you watch Seahawks Today, you can watch Seahawks Live. And then later on this week, we'll have our first watch party of 2022 for the preseason matchup with the Pittsburgh Steelers. We'll get going about 15 minutes before kickoff at 6:45 Eastern, 3:45 Pacific. And then we'll be reacting to the game in real time, opening up some cold ones, and kicking it back a bit with you. So you won't want to miss out on that. The party is here on Seahawks Today. We'll have post-game reaction as well. So make sure and join us on Saturday night beginning at 6:45 Eastern, 3:45 Pacific here on Seahawks Today. Couple more overreactions for you. I think that the cornerback spot, we will see a rookie start week one. And I know that we've talked a lot about Coby Bryant around here, but Tariq Woolen is making his case as well. And here's what Albert Breer had to say on his visit to Seahawks camp this week about those two guys. Coby Bryant has the look of a day one starter. How about that? And Tariq Woolen out of UTSA has really impressed with his size and athleticism. And the depth chart that was released this week, the Seahawks have Sidney Jones and Artie Burns as the starting outside corners. But look who's right there on their heels. That's Coby Bryant. That's Tariq Woolen. So, how about that? Could we see one of those two guys start? I would give the edge to Coby Bryant. I think that Coby Bryant will start day one. Tariq Woolen, outside shot, but nonetheless still in the competition to get there. But I do think we are going to see Coby Bryant, when it's all said and done, start week one for the Seahawks at one of those outside corner spots. These guys are coming along. We're going to look back, I think, years from now and say to ourselves, wow, how did the Seahawks not only pull off Coby Bryant, but also Tariq Woolen as well as day three selections? It'll be mind-blowing. A great job by John Schneider and the scouting staff for the Seahawks to bring those guys in as impact players on that front. So, my final overreaction for the Seahawks in training camp. I know that we talk a lot of rumors and trade ideas around here, but I don't think there's going to be any major additions coming to this roster the rest of the way. I don't think they're bringing in Jimmy Garoppolo. I think that a trade would cost too much, and by the time that the Seahawks could get him in free agency, it would be just too late to the start of the season by the time the 49ers would actually release him and just get nothing for him at that point. And then there was an idea brought up by all Seahawks about the idea of bringing in Kareem Hunt, as Kareem Hunt's requested a trade from the Cleveland Browns. Let's hear what their argument is on this. With Chris Carson retiring, the team is relying on former first-round pick Rashad Penny and second-round rookie Ken Walker III to hold the fort down at running back. Out of Penny, Walker, and Hunt, the Browns trade candidate has the best opportunity to be successful in 2022 based on his past success. And look, Kareem Hunt's a very fine football player, no doubt about it, but there's just not a need. I would ride with Penny and Ken Walker, and I think you're going to be just fine. I don't see the Seahawks trading for a veteran running back at this point when I think you have a good core as is already. So I'll leave it up to you guys. Should the Seahawks trade for Kareem Hunt? I say no. I don't see it happening. I don't think they make any more big additional moves to the roster at this point in time. But I want to hear from you guys directly what you think. Let me know in the comment section. Type T for trade, type P for pass, if Seattle should trade for Kareem Hunt. So to recap before we go, my overreactions: Drew Lock will win the starting quarterback job. The Seahawks will have not only a 1,000-yard rusher, but a receiver as well. The tight end position is as important as ever, with Fant and Disley providing a safety net for the new starting quarterback. A rookie will start week one at outside corner. I lean towards Coby Bryant, but I'm not rolling out Tariq Woolen, and I don't see any major additions coming to this roster. No Jimmy G, no Kareem Hunt, anything like that. The Seahawks are going to roll with what they have. They're confident in what is on the roster right now, and they'll see what makes of it going forward. Thanks for joining us here on Seahawks Today. Got a big week this week, and we're really just getting started. If you made it to the end of today's video, you're a real one. Show yourselves out. Let's get the real one roll call going. Spam real one in the comments if you made it to the end of today's show, and we'll see you later on this week here on Seahawks Today.